Peterson with the Dallas-Fort Worth Regional Development Business Council. And tonight we'll be discussing some of the ills that affect our community. One of them is bad business practices. One of the basic reasons why so much lack of support have existed in our community as African Americans because of lack of business support. And we are here tonight to discuss that. So we'd like to start off with the question. Bad business practices, gentlemen, is it a myth or is it reality? Is it really true that the reason why the lack of support exists in our community because of bad business in the African American community? Is it really true?
I like to say, first of all, I believe it's a myth. And I would like to say that there are some bad businesses, but there are bad businesses in all. What I think that African Americans need to understand is this, is that one of the most serious things, one of the most serious products that have been bought on the American market is that black is inferior. It should have been a product that was left alone. And by the masses of African Americans picking up that product, it makes no difference what type of business it is. If I conceive that that person over the business is inferior, then I also conceive that everything he have is inferior. It makes no difference what product that he have. I talk to people all the time, and what I be trying to understand, they'll come and when they go into other businesses, other ethnic group businesses, they go in there and they say, well, the service wasn't right. But they don't say, I'm not going to shop in Italian anymore, I'm not going to shop Jewish anymore, I'm not going to shop with whites anymore. But when they come in the black business, they'll see one black business that may be wrong, or maybe two. But they'll judge and condemn the whole race. Because, see, what has been sold in this country and what is in the atmosphere is that black is inferior. All through generations, especially through African-American tribes in this here country, African-Americans have been a product, have been presented as inferior. So when they see their hair, they try to change it. When they see their skin, they try to change it. Because the idea of the concept that has been given to them through the schools, if you go through the schools, it was Sambo. If you went through the church, it was Ham, that he got that by a curse. So through years, it's been preaching people, our own race, have been trying to get away from what have been presented to them. So I think the major idea is not that the businesses are bad, more than a bad concept have been bought. And that bad concept or the bad product that have been bought, that African Americans or that black is inferior, I think they need to disregard that. They have been with us through history.
Okay, so the problem is not bad business. The problem is they prefer to shop with someone other than their own people, or their own complexion. That's the bigger problem.
That's the bigger problem, but I also like to say this, we got to remember all people, when you buy, if we have bought the product that black is inferior, and then I become a black businessman and I bought the product that black is inferior, I'm going to put out inferior work. I'm going to put out inferior work because in my self-conscious mind, I bought out that I'm an inferior. And I think the problem is that the main problem is that people accepting themselves as inferior, seeing themselves as inferior. What we have to do, we have to start taking control of our own life. When we let other people represent us, who represent us on the movie? We don't write them. Somebody else is telling the story on how they see us. Somebody is telling the story how they look at us. So the majority of the time that we look at this, someone else is telling the story how they see us, because we never have a chance to tell the story ourselves to see how people see us. If I represent how I see myself, then I'm going to represent it better than somebody else representing how they see me. And what we have to do is start taking control over the movies. Because the movies that are put out, 90% of them is no good. It's an inferior image. They either playing a pimp, they either playing a hustler. So through the psychological, when you study, portray, and keep images of inferior over people, eventually that's going to go into their mind. The mind is like this. You can believe a lie. I can tell you a lie, and your mind can study, repeat it, it'll believe it. And they can tell you a lie, and the biggest lie I've been told is that blacks is inferior, and that they, by them accepting that, they work have become inferior. So I think that what they need to do, we need to see a concept that has been portrayed on us, and we need to get rid of the concept. And then I think that you'll see totally something different once you start doing that.
Okay, Mr. Stevenson, what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's probably another case of, with any condition, there are always going to be two sides to the coin.
Right.
One of those sides, obviously, it's got to be many of the black businesses that exist in Dallas today, because of the fact that they're small businesses, suffer from a lot of the same problems, concerns that many small businesses suffer from lack of capital to lack of other resources. The principals in the business also having to do the variety of jobs it takes to make that business run and be successful. So as a result, the businesses undergo a lot of stress and strain. And on that side, I can be very, very sympathetic and supportive of the notion that many black businesses, because of those kinds of problems, do in fact have problems above and beyond the majority of firms that exist. Now, on that other coin, you've got the populace that supports those businesses. Right. And I think that my colleague is absolutely correct in assuming that sometimes there tends to be a greater tendency to be more critical when minority-owned businesses, black-owned firms, are subject to some problems than is the case across the board. And I think on both sides we've got points that we need to work on.
Okay, like also some of the criticism, the criticism of African American businesses that when they find the item, it is inferior, either too high. The
right.
product it costs too much. It's hard to find the kind of item they really need in African American businesses.
Right, and I've done that because I have clothing stores, and I run across that all the time. Matter of fact, I have to go on different TV commercials and different radio commercials and say, we guarantee you we'll pay $5,000 if any of our Calvin Kleins are not real, if any of our Jordache not real. We had to do that because in the community, by just being Calvin Kleins and we having it, our Calvin Kleins was not real. By selling them at a low price, wasn't making any money off of them, but by selling them at a low price, they said our Calvin Kleins wasn't real. When we put them up, they was too high. But so any reason, that's why I said that we have to understand the bigger reason. The bigger reason is because we believe a lie. We believe in our own self to be inferior. I'm not talking about all African Americans, but I'm saying as a group, as what's been sold to us by you believing a bigger concept, your mind will automatically justify any reason not to shop. But the same reason they justify not to shop with African Americans, you can find those same reasons in other stores, those same problems in other stores. But the number one thing is this: there's really no justification for them not to shop. There's no justification for the economy not to go through African-American business hands. It is the same way if a wife is saying that the husband is going and taking his money. He said, well, darling, we got inferior furniture, so I'm going to go pay the neighbor's rent. But, darling, we got inferior food, so I'm going to go buy the neighbor's groceries. It don't make no difference. We shouldn't go and take our money and our resources and go and spend it in other people and build a community before we build it ourselves. The best way that we always know, the way to get the best furniture is we keep living in an inferior house and support that, we'll have a better home. We keep having inferior furniture. If the money keep coming in there, we're going to have better furniture. But if I take the concept and take the idea, if I live in a home or if I live in a community and take the idea where these goods are inferior, I'm going to somewhere else, how is that community ever going to be strong? How is it ever going to be big? As long as I'm taking all the dollars and going to other communities, that community is never going to grow, never going to be good, because the very concept of what I'm doing, I'm studying taking the resources out. So what African Americans need to understand is that for their community, their resources belong in their community.
Okay, the merchandise and the products coming from the same place, the same location, like Taiwan, Korea, Hong Kong, they come from the same place.
Right.
The same thing the Chinese, Japanese, the Vietnamese, and the Koreans have in their store. Don't the African Americans have the same thing in their store? But why is it the African Americans say that no, the products in the black people's store is inferior? Why do they say that? They come from the same place.
It's always going to boil into the same concept that's been sold down through generations. As long as they see themselves, as long as we consciously have been sold, we have to look at history. They say history reward all research. What history did we come out of? We came out of a history of lies. A history of lies that what we did was inferior, what we said was inferior, and there's a point in history that you're supposed to correct that. Now, I've been going to the school books, I haven't saw it. I've been going through history, I haven't saw it. I can go through history and I can show you where the people in Vietnam had a correction. I can show they say, well, these people going through great trauma. We have ignored this problem. It's time for us to address this problem. Let us stop. It shows the point that they addressed it. But through history, they haven't addressed that problem. Therefore, you still have some churches today. I'm not talking about the church. I'm talking about the lies that we have been presented. You still have them teaching that black people was cursed by Ham, and that it's a curse. Now, who want to be a curse? Who want to be in that type of light? Okay. Why do you think that we straighten our hair? Why do you think that, that we buy bleaching cream? Why do you think that we see blonde and redhead in our own race that they're not satisfied? Why do you think when they look at straight hair, they say that's good hair? But when they look at their own hair, they say it's bad. The judgment of good and bad is by Caucasian standards. When they have good, straight hair, they say, I got good hair, he's got good hair. But when the hair is snappy, they say it is bad and it's of their own deceit.
Okay, Mr. Stevens, what do you think about that?
Well,